Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for this Planes of Eidolon gameplay walkthrough. So this is of course a footage from DE themselves. This is the one they uploaded on YouTube. So I was waiting and hoping that a HD quality of this comes out. But here it is. So we are looking at that. That looks like some kind of, So based on what we heard and what we know so far right now, this is a colony that's pretty much in a neutral state. And that pretty much looks like some kind of grilled cheese coming down there. That is just funny and crazy. And as you can see, it's like they still have a little bit of the Orokin thing still going on. And then that looks like a melee weapon. Kind of like, looks a little bit like the Orthos Prime and stuff like that. And we have those little kids running. Wow, that's awesome. That looks that's ridiculous. Wow, I love the view, love the siding and everything. And you know what, to be honest, for a while I actually kind of imagined that maybe DE forgot how to make something, looking amazing. Oh, that just looks so wonderful. I love the way that text is. And there is our Lisette. So I'm guessing, yeah. So here's where we're gonna drop into the tile set. So there you go. There it is, people. Our first experience of something outside the regular Earth that we know, and something outside, just space battles and all that kind of stuff. So based on what we know so far, this is a group of people who have been doing things and still following the old Orokin tradition, and I guess they still see Orokins as, maybe gods and all that. What is, yeah. See, that is the creepy part of the thing right there. That is really, really creepy. I don't know if that is a chunk of meat. And you know what, to be honest, that looks like maybe that is something that was grown out of some infested flesh or infested tissue. But all right, so they're moving. So on the right here, I can already see there's also another one right there. And you have, oh, there goes the bird. Yeah, if you guys remember that there goes that vulture, that bird that actually took DE maybe 3 years to make. There it is right there. And we see that Corpus ship going out. Wow, look at that Orokin tower. I mean, it looks battle scarred, but it still looks good. I can't wait till we get to a point where we might have to go up there. And you know what is crazy? That might actually be where Lotus is laying. That might be her hiding spot. You never know. I love the lighting. And you know what? Just a quick heads up to a lot of people. If your PC is not where it needs to be, just get ready for your graphics card to crash and for your PC to crash. Now, I will say though, DE does something as far as working towards making sure that these programs and these graphics are optimizable for people with low-end PCs. And I love the way the colony is looking. It's giving me like it's a unique feel to it. It's one of those things that I haven't seen before in any. Hey guy, it's one of those things that I haven't seen before in any video game at all. Now, of course, this is one of the things that they explained to us, that it's going to be some sort of a social orb, including the market system and all. And you know what? I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of people from Destiny are going to say, oh, maybe this copied Destiny or anything. But this is not something that is original, because a lot of video games do this. So this is one of those things that I will say nobody actually owns this style of a hub. However, the way DE did this is just so amazing, and it's unique in every character. Look at that guy. I don't know what he is. Oh, wow. All right. So those are masks and items that they say we can actually buy and equip it on a Tenno. So I'm hopeful to see what that is. And you can see those little cages on the side right there. And there goes that Kavat. See, that is a kind of Kavat skin that I'm hoping to get, because of course those are the regular I think those are the feral Kavats or the wild Kavats, whatever you want to call them. And you can see it. You can see other Warframe players out there too. And that person is selling fish. I guess we might actually need that to craft items. And this is one of the most things that, I've really been hoping for in the game. And here it is at right here. It says Hawk's Anvil. So this is basically where you're going to get to craft your weapons. You're going to get to build things. You have the blade, and then you have the grip part right here, which is also incredible. And then you have what is called the vajay. I guess maybe that might be the base of the weapon itself. And one of the things that they also said is, the construction and the composition of this actually determines what stance you use and what stats you actually have on there as well. I can't wait to craft like a dagger out of this. I already see something. I can already imagine right here that when this comes out, I'm actually going to enjoy this. This just looks amazing. Like right there, right, the first one right here that says Bala, and that one that says Utla. Oh yes, I'm gonna get that one. Definitely gonna get that one. All right, let's see. Wow, that looks really amazing. And I'll be honest with you guys, most of the farming that a lot of players are going to be doing in the game will be most of it will be resulting at this spot right here. It will all be revolved around you crafting weapons. And I'm also hoping that maybe if you craft some weapons, maybe you can end up selling them to players as well. And wow, look at those. That's incredible. And you know what? I'm also thinking some of these players and random players that you see right here, those are probably some of the Warframe YouTubers or founders or whatever it is that they are. So I guess this is the exclusive portion that they get to have. So I'm guessing a lot of them, when they get to make their videos, they're going to have footages that we haven't seen before. And this is the portion right here where they are telling us that we're going to be able to actually get mission quests. So I'm guessing this is not going to be the only guy. And this guy is basically telling us about the items that he wants, and is letting us know that the Grenier have that item. So we basically have to go fight the Grenier. And if we remember, the Grenier have most of their settlements on Earth. So his name is Konzu. Not bad. Let's see. All right, we're taking the quest. All right. It looks weird. Wow. Now, I will tell you, the way the text of the colony itself is set, it looks like Arabic turned sideways or upside down, which is also, I mean, I know a lot of work went into creating that language, and they also had a guy at the TennoCon event, which actually was the one who created the language, and it was going to teach a lot of people. So I'm sure, even though the language is quite unique, but every language is influenced by the other. And you can see DE Megan right there waving. And this looks amazing and spectacular. So I'm guessing she's going to follow into the mission. So this is one of the things that I'm hoping that we will have something a lot much bigger than 4 players per squad, or maybe 8 players, for a raid. I'm hoping to see something in the likes of maybe at least 16 players, maybe 16. I'm not saying, we need maybe 120 or something, but maybe 16. And maybe in the future, we can go all the way up to maybe around 24 or 18. Now, one thing I'm also hoping for, wow, that is just this. I mean, look at the view. So as soon as you got out of the area, you're able to equip your weapons. Okay. Wow, so those are basically sentient crash sites. And based on what we learned so far during TennoCon livestream, they basically let us know that this place was a graveyard of where the Orokin defeated the Sentients as they were trying to destroy that tower. And this looks amazing. And look at that melee that Excalibur got on the side right there. That looks amazing. But going back to what I was talking about earlier, this is going to be one of those amazing things because, I mean, this just expands the world of Warframe, and I'm just hoping that DE expand their servers as well, because you cannot have something as, wonderful and good looking as this and just have, the kind of crappy server we still have. So I guess they're going to have to reward a lot of dedicated servers with more and more from time to time. So this is looking, Wow, this is just amazing. I mean, look at the way everything is. Look at the vegetation, the lighting. Wow. And there goes some Grenier right there. So imagine having to go in and try to ambush some Grenier. That's just going to be so awesome. That is going to be really, really awesome. Wow. And there you go. Now I will tell you though, one thing that I will say will give you, and there's the Grenier Nox unit. One thing I will say that will give you the very huge test for this, and one thing I'm also hoping for is to get this on my computer and try to see how this plays, because I use an Alienware 17 and I use a NVIDIA graphics card at 1070. I'm hoping to upgrade to a 1080 very soon, but I cannot wait. Whoa. And I cannot wait to actually test this out and see how it plays and how it feels. And wow, this is just amazing. I mean, this is amazing. Imagine playing this on Ultra, and you know, most of my videos are 4K anyway, but you know, imagine just playing this on Ultra. This is just and there goes the water. Wow. Now I'll be honest with you guys, if I'm going to be the one showing this gameplay, I am definitely going to have my fashion frame on spot. My fashion frame will be on point. And there goes the water. Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. Oh wow. I think, yeah. I remember they showed this. We actually have a fish. We have fishes in the water. So, oh wow. So we have a throwing spear. And you know, this is where they catch it, and there it goes, and there you go. That is just incredible. That is really, really amazing. Now, one thing I'm hoping for is, you know, are we able to swim as Warframes? You know, because that would be very, very logical, you know, for us to be able to swim. You know, I understand shark wing and all, but hopefully we're able to swim, because that would be a very, very logical thing. And I mean, the view is just phenomenal. The lighting, the texture. And I guess this is, you know, the parts that we saw in the teaser. And the fact that, you know, speaking of the teasers, the fact that they had the part where the water meets land, and then they were talking about Umbra. That is one of the things that also leads me to believe what is going on with Umbra. And even though, you know, a lot of people see that Umbra is going to be an evil frame, but the fact that Umbra might be linked to this place, that is telling me that Umbra might be some kind of a savior to them. Now, I don't know how, you know, if that is a valid statement, but it might actually be. And look at this. Oh my, this is just awesome. This is the most amazing thing. And you get to actually spawn Archwings for others. Now, one thing I'm also quite concerned about is if I spawn my Archwing for my squad mates or my teammate, will they have the same stats as I do on my Archwing? That is a really good question. Now I will hope that they do, because that way, if you're basically helping another player out, you can get them a better gear, you know, even though it's not theirs, but they kind of get to ride along and tag along with you. Wow, look at that. Look at that. It just bombarded them. And I love the smooth transition as well. Oh, that one flew away. I love the way the smooth transition is also as well, because that looks phenomenal. That is amazing. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. That looks really, really good. That looks good. And, you know, I cannot get over the lighting. Lighting is everything. You know, it defines the moment. And one of the things that they also let us know about this in TennoCon is the fact that they actually have a really good transitional effect that changes the weather and, you know, changes time as well. So you can go from day to night in just split seconds, and you know, you can see as it's jumping right now. Now everything is going from like earlier in the day, now it's getting a little bit darker. You're in the evening, and then it's getting darker and darker. And the more you get closer, everything changes. Everything changes the more you get closer. And you can see, and right here we basically it basically looks like 8 p.m. in some places right now. And that is just awesome. That is ridiculously awesome. Wow. That is incredible. That is incredible. I cannot wait to actually play these hands-on, because this This just looks phenomenal. Now I can see a little bit of a, tearing and, a little bit of a lagging in there. And that's also one of the things that they talked about as well. They're still working on it. So they're still going to be working on optimization and a lot of other things as well. So I'm not expecting it to be, super extra perfect, but, wow. And there goes the Grenier dropships. Now, this is a dropship that they actually showed us a few dev streams ago. Remember when we were talking about Corpus dropships, that we saw in Ambulus Reborn. Now we see the Grenier dropships. Now I don't know if that is the the only size they have, but I'm assuming they have something a little bit bigger. And I also see the particle effects and all that. So that's really good. That's really good. And it turned into night and the transition. Now, one thing wow, okay. So this right here is what I'm thinking, some kind of fume or some kind of energy from the Orokin is coming out. Now, if you guys remember and notice, that energy wave and that energy beam looks like something coming out of the Arcane. It looks like something coming out of the Arcane machine. Now, if you guys remember the video I did a while ago talking about the sentience and their link and, talking about arcanes and all that kind of stuff, this looks like one of them. Wow, that's really, really, wow. That I love the way that looks. And if you guys remember, like Scott said and like Steve said, this is an Orokin graveyard. So and Lotus even said you don't want to stay here till nightfall. You may end up seeing something you don't want to see. And this is the hype portion right here. So I guess that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.